Welcome to Activations with JJ, special solar eclipse Ascension message for April 2023. In this episode, I'll be covering several energetic themes related to the eclipse, as well as channeling a message from Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus regarding how to best navigate the eclipse energies. I'm thrilled to have you here to co-create with me. So let's dive right into those eclipse energies. Greetings, beautiful souls. Hello, hello. Here we are in the midst of the eclipse energies. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? I know many people have responded to me, either just in one-on-one sessions I've had, friends who've sent me messages. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, I posted a reel a couple of days ago, and the topic was the eclipse. And wow, that has had a huge response. Many people are feeling these different vibrations that are coming along. And, you know, the best description I felt for a lot of people is just kind of this place of limbo. Some people feel like they're a robot and they're a little detached from reality and they're just kind of going about their day. Others feel stuck, kind of like there's a pause button that got pushed, and yet others feel just a heaviness coming over them. And so my intention with this episode is to simply validate and confirm what you're feeling and that it's related to the eclipse, and bring through some insights and some inspiration from Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus. I'm really excited for that second portion of this podcast episode where I'll be channeling that. But as we drop in, I'm going to kind of expand on the topics I mentioned in my Instagram reel. If you're not following me on Instagram, I highly recommend you hop over there and give me a follow, mainly because I actually post lots and lots of light language there, one almost every single day, that you won't find in other places. I do try to post them simultaneously, like on YouTube Shorts and TikTok, but for the most part, everything is on Instagram, the majority. It's really easy. All you have to do is look up Activations with JJ. And again, I would love to co-create with you over on that platform. So moving forward with these topics, it was fascinating as I dropped in to create the reel. And there was this big sense of urgency around creating that message. My guides were like, listen, a lot of people are struggling right now and they could use a message. And so that's what I hope I do for people, is help them kind of see the light or get clarity. That is my biggest intention. And the first thing that dropped in as I was bringing through that particular message was intention, the importance of intention. And I think in the spiritual community, we're really leaning into expanding the solar plexus, expanding our sense of power and sovereignty. And that's a big theme. In fact, that's a big theme for like this whole year, in my personal opinion. If you listen to my 2023 energy update. And by the way, I cannot believe we're already almost 4 months or over in 2023. Isn't that crazy? But if you listen to that, I've said, this is what I want to do this year. I want to empower everybody to be increasing their psychic abilities. And I'll talk a little bit about how I'm doing that too. I have an offering coming up related to that. It's just so vital that when we feel potent energies coming through, big feelings coming through, strange or wonky energy coming through, that we do it from a place of power and we realize and understand we're creating our reality. We are the ones who are going to really project upon whatever's happening what we want to have there. And so that's why I believe my guides dropped in with the words, be intentional with these eclipse energies. Someone asked me a question after I posted that reel, and they were referring to a part where I said, if you don't harness the energies of the eclipse, then they're going to harness you. And they were like, what? How does that, how does that work? I don't understand what you're saying there. And I promise you, that just dropped in from spirit. So then I had to sit with it, and I was like, what does that mean? And I think what it means is in this co-creation with the eclipse energies. And that's exactly what it is. It is a co-creation. Not only as an individual are we interacting with those eclipse energies, but as a collective, we are playing with those eclipse energies. And I like using the word play because it makes it fun and not so serious. But essentially what we need to remember is that it's going to take its lead from us. We are showing what we desire. This is how we manifest, right? And we are absolutely manifesting whatever we want to come out of this, whether consciously or subconsciously. So the intention, I think I could define a little bit better by saying, let's bring in conscious intention to this. Let's call in our guides to maximize what happens during the eclipse. That's why I'm calling in Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus to bring in a message, because as soon as we invite them in, they have maybe potential wisdom, knowledge, perspective that we don't always have when we're head down in this 3D experience. Well, some of us are in 4D, 5D, whatever dimension experience you're in or density. But we are somewhat focused. We're here to be embodied. We do have a veil. It's there. And so again, as we bring in intention, we can make sure that this particular experience is facilitating comfort in our body. And rather than giving us like a foggy, fuzzy, kind of heavy energy, it's helping us to either hold space to process and release, because that's what, of course, eclipse is all about. And this one's happening on the new moon, which is pretty cool. But again, it's giving us that purpose. It's giving us that way to manifest what we would like to happen. Another person said, like, can you be more specific about what my intention should be? And I'll touch on that. First of all, I caught myself saying the word should, and I have really tried to remove that from my vocabulary because it is rife with programming. Lots and lots of programming in that word. So again, what's recommended? What are some ideas? Let's think for a moment how we can use these eclipse energies for our greatest and highest good. And a few things that popped into my head, and by all means, I honor whatever your intuition is telling you to do, is to use it to release. And then when I said that, Spirit said, but you need to get more specific. Be more specific with your intention, okay? So release. What are you releasing? Sit down and journal what you would like to release. Sit down and try to ask Spirit to bring to your mind, what are programs I'm running that are no longer serving me? What ancestral traumas am I still holding on to in my body that are no longer serving me? Do I have contracts that are ready to be done? I've learned my lesson, but I'm still doing them over and over. Am I ready to just release it? I did learn my lesson. Yeah, most likely you are. Other things that can happen when you release, because of course this is a release. This is a time of opening. You can release energies in your body that are causing physical discomfort, lower density energies that when they are released, make room for our crystalline light body to flower and to blossom and to open and expand. All of those things are happening on a collective level and for you individually. Some of you are conscious of it. Others are maybe just learning about it. But I promise you, it's happening because that's the energies that we're standing in right now on this, transitory period here of density of Gaia. Now, speaking of releasing specifically, I will tell you one thing. In my experience, the part of us that tends to be a little more locked in when it comes to releases is the physical body. So the more that you can create and facilitate your physical body softening and surrendering, the easier this release will come to pass. And surrender is the second theme I talked about in my Instagram reel that got such a huge response. Now, I am not oblivious to the fact that intention and surrender as the two different ways to deal, or, you can do it simultaneously, ways to navigate this eclipse energy seem somewhat opposing. They seem contradictory, paradoxical. And somebody also mentioned that in the comment section of Instagram. I've had lots of fun in the comment section there, talking with people. So be sure to drop in here into the YouTube if you're listening on YouTube, and we can play with what's going on here. But I said, okay, you're right. And I said it was confusing to me too. I don't always know and understand something right off the bat when I'm channeling it. For those of you who are channelers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Stuff will come out of your mouth and you're just sitting at like going, wait, what does that mean? Like, I get it, but I don't get it. And so as I sat with the idea of that, I started thinking about the concepts of duality, just knowing that everything is one, and that our idea that something is opposite, really they're all one in the same. And then I had another person comment, which I thought was a really great one, was like, well, maybe your intention is just to surrender. And I was like, yes, maybe your intention is just to surrender. So I'm going to add something to that, level that up a little bit, and ask you to consider making one of your intentions to be to allow your physical body to surrender, to invite and hold space for your cells, your DNA, to surrender any energies, like your quantum field, my friends. That's another theme that's been coming up a lot, working with your quantum field. But anyhow, some of the ways that you can surrender and specifically make this a little bit more comfortable for your physical body. Now, people are going to ask me, wait, what does that mean? How do I help my physical body surrender? Does that mean I just need to sleep all day? Well, for some of you it does. But guess what? Not for everybody. That's why it's so important for you to tap into your own intuition. Some of you might feel like you need to go on a 10-mile run. And some of you might feel like you need to eat light foods, tea, fruits. Others may need to eat very grounding foods and eat a lot. So just honor what your body needs to do at this time and listen to your body. We tend to spend a lot of time outside our bodies, and we tend to honor what's outside the body rather than what's inside the body. You have an internal compass that will guide you, that will provide for you information and insights, answer questions, and it's all right within you. And in fact, as we transition now into the channeled message from Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus, I do want to mention something I said at the beginning and let you know that this is your last chance in the next couple of days, if you're listening to this right when I publish the podcast, to sign up for my Psychic Activation Workshop. This is a 2-part workshop that takes place on April 23rd and April 30th. It's live and virtual, so you can join me from anywhere in the world. We'll be covering all of the clairs and really helping to remove energetic blocks that you might have to expanding those clairs. In relation to that, I actually happened upon a post by a friend of mine, and the name of her Instagram account is The Teachings of Josef. I'll drop the link in to the comment section here. But her name is Cindy, and again, she channels a blended energy. It's really fascinating. The evolutionary vibration of Seth and Abraham. And so she's an incredible channeler again. I'm excited to share this little quote because it was right in alignment with me feeling drawn to really help people access their psychic abilities. And as I prepare for the Psychic Activation Workshop, I feel myself really wanting to lean into helping other people become channelers or access the channeler part of themselves that's already there, right? It's just awakening that part of them. And so on the heels of this Psychic Activation Workshop, I plan on offering some co-channeling circles where we can play and we can channel together. I've already done this with some amazing friends, and I'm planning on doing this again. It was an incredible experience. But here's what the teachings of Josef say about channeling. The third dimensional understanding of channeling is a limited understanding, as are all teachings conjured in the contrasting realm of the physical experience, each in perfect alignment with the timeline where they were created. In other words, there is vibrational agreement. Channeling isn't something that is learned, but an ability that is inherent. And upon your understanding of its true meaning, it is simply brought into your awareness and developed. Communication in all realms of consciousness is what you call channeling. Your limited understanding is what holds you back from expanding your abilities to communicate with the higher realms. Channeling, from your soul's perspective, is what you do all day, every day, all day long in your world. When you look at something, your third dimensional action is channeling. It is a translation of vibration. When you touch, hear, or taste something, your third dimensional action is channeling. It is a translation of vibration. As you understand more of your sixth sense, which is vibrational communication with the all of you, you move into the expanded realms. It manifests as your emotions and is felt, spoken, and expressed vibrationally through vibrational communication with your soul. Channeling is simply vibrational translation. It is not a special gift only some receive. It is inherent in all universal beings, and it is the foundational language of the soul and all its aspects. Focus on expanding your understanding of your vibrational communication with and as who you really are, and keep moving forward. End of quote. Isn't that just an amazing, amazing insight? Wow. I am so grateful for Cindy and for who she channels. Again, if you are not following her, everything that she says, it's incredible and expansive. So in alignment with where I am at vibrationally. And I couldn't literally echo that even more and just say to you, that's exactly how I feel. I really want you to feel empowered. And that whole quote is so empowering. Did it not feel empowering? I felt it as I was reading it. I was like, this is so empowering. You are all special. You are all channelers. And everybody has that gift as a soul. So anyhow, that's kind of how I want to end this part of the podcast episode, is with that, on that note. Don't go anywhere just yet though, because after I make a few announcements, I will be channeling Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus. There's one other offering we have coming up. I'll be live streaming from Los Angeles, right by the ocean, our Lemurian group past life regression. Now we still have, I think, a few tickets left. If you're interested in attending the day retreat, that is an in-person event. But we have opened up this virtual portion, so you can join us from anywhere in the world. We are going to be spending an hour, and myself and my friend Queenie of Reiki and Flow will be co-creating a past life regression experience for you. So if you are a Lemurian starseed, if you're at all connected to Lemuria in any way, shape, or form, or even aren't sure, but maybe, this is an offering for you. All right, you can find all of the information about that in the show notes below. Oh, there is one more thing. Okay, this is fun. I did talk about this on the last podcast episode. Starting now and moving forward, I will dedicate a portion of each of the podcasts to a Q&A. If you have a question to ask me, this is an open forum. You need to drop it into the YouTube comments section. So if you're listening on a different podcast platform, well, if you're on Apple Podcasts, you can drop it in as a review. And so you can do it like a rating and then a review and drop that question in there. If you are on YouTube, you can drop that comment into the comment section of the YouTube video, and I will compile some of those questions and address them in the coming weeks in another podcast episode. So this is my special Q&A offering. A lot of people have questions. I get them all day on Instagram, for instance, and I'm excited to be able to answer some of those for you. So make sure you take a moment to do that after you listen to this channeled message. All right, we're going to switch gears now. So if you're listening in the car, you might want to stop and listen to this later, but it's okay. Just don't get too relaxed. This is going to be somewhat of a meditation, a guided meditation, and a channeled message with some light language. So settling into your body and taking a nice deep breath. Closing your eyes if you're able to, as we call in Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus. Ginalueta isaini isina toko mahaeta. We come to you, dear ones, as two, yet one in purpose, one in intention, to bring through an energy of clarity regarding this upcoming solar eclipse, which the Earth will be experiencing. The collective and even the planet are at what you would call a critical juncture. Not because you could make a misstep and go the wrong way, but because whatever your collective intention is will create the next timeline as you travel on this journey of planetary ascension. This is not a matter of whether or not the Earth will make it into the new age. This is a matter of how. And for this reason, we encourage you, as this channel has mentioned, to soften, to surrender, to come into a dreamlike state, but stay somewhat grounded as you swim through the energies of these next few days. As a child exploring something new, we invite you to call in a sense of wonder. For as you release old programs, old traumas, contracts, ancestral energies that are no longer serving you, you will simultaneously be releasing veils and as these veils are lifted, your awareness will be heightened. But this is not something to be feared. This is how the magic truly happens. And so, dear ones, we invite you to release worry, to release your concept of perfection, and to allow yourself to play, to call in your inner child to guide you and to lead you through this new age. For as was taught by Master Yeshua, the higher vibrational realms are truly the place of the energy of little children. You are loved, and you are held. And the two of us are here to be by your side, if you so desire. May this time of the eclipse be filled with wonder, expansion, and with joy. And so it is. Katakulu yanait, katakulu unait, I suit mahalait, Ushisarak toma, Ushisarak toma idala wukayana, Oi sasakatukomia shasa, Oi sasakatuko yamma yashasa, Uru tu 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 tu. This is JJ. I invite you to begin to bring yourself back to your body, to ground into your root chakra, and to simply complete this activation by placing your hands on your heart and repeating the words, and so it is. With gratitude and love for Sanat Kumara and Lady Venus, with gratitude and love for you, we bring this podcast episode to a close as I remind you that I am you and you are me and we are we. Until next time, my friends.